Now, it is the latest tragedy involving a fatal fuel tanker explosion. The 13 who were killed in the blast at Malanga area are now part of the hundreds of other similar victims who are no more. While the number of lives claimed in such incidents never seem to serve as a lesson for Kenyans who rush to the ever-familiar scene of an overturned fuel tanker. We take a look at some of the more devastating accidents that drew both national and global attention. The metal frame of a charred fuel tanker. It's arguably the most dangerous vehicle on the road, carrying loads of flammable liquid that, if ignited, can consume everything in its path in a matter of seconds. It's an all too familiar scene that is replicated every few years. The earliest incident, at least in recent memory, was on July 13, 1998, when a petroleum tanker overturned at the Sindindi marker in Ugenya, some 50 kilometers from Kisumu. Local residents rushed to the scene to siphon the spillage when soon after the tanker burst into flames, killing 33 people and injuring several others. Police investigations then confirmed that a resident started the fire by striking a match with the aim of punishing others who allegedly prevented him from fetching fuel. 11 years later, on January 31st, 2009, over 110 people were engulfed in a huge ball of fire from a fuel tanker explosion at Sachangwan along the Nakuru-Eldoret highway. Again, people eager to get their hands on free fuel rushed to the scene, ignoring the clear and present danger that was soaking their hands with every scoop.
Kuna ajali zingine ambazo zinaweza kukingwa. Kwa mfano, hii sio mara ya kwanza ambayo watu wamepoteza maisha kulingana na ajali ya aina hii. Miaka chache iliyopita kulikuwa kuna ajali kama hii kule upande wa Siaya, mahali inaitwa Sidindi.
Tafadhali hii iwe ni funzo ya ambao ni ya mwisho ya kuelewa kwamba tusichezee kitu ambacho tunaona kwamba ni hatari.
And still, the harrowing images and stories of the scarred survivors were not enough of a deterrent for those wanting to tempt fate in the next accident. And it didn't take long. That same year, in June, 4 people died and 47 others sustained serious burns after a fuel tanker veered off the Kericho-Kisumu highway into the valley. Still another accident, this time 4 days later in Kisumu's Rabuor area, saw residents flock the overturned tanker. Police efforts to keep off the surging crowd, perhaps the reason no fatalities were recorded that day.
Watu wanachota tu. Hatujaiba. Njaa hii iko bwana. Na hii ni kuwa goldi. Njaa ni hii. Kama mtaka tutote hii kitu. Kifo ni kifo. Hata hizi petroli ni diesel. Pesa kietu. Leo ni weekend.
2 years later, however, on September 12th, 2011, a deadly explosion would rip through the informal settlement of Sinai following an oil spill. According to reports, 100 lives were lost. Charred bodies were found as far as 300 meters from the blast site. Beyond exposing the problem of perennial neglect of informal settlements, where thousands live without services, access roads, or security, the Sinai fire also highlighted the dangerous culture of fuel siphoning that up until that point claimed hundreds of lives. It remains to be seen if the events at Malanga area will be enough to break the cycle of death that has persisted on our roads for far too long.